Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout using the March Scraptastic kit. This is the 14th layout using this kit. It took me 53 minutes to complete, and I'm showing you some of the scraps that I have left, some of the die cuts, this vellum sheet, not vellum, transparency, and some of the puffy stickers I have left. And again, what I did was I just took a bunch of stuff that was coordinating and I just threw it on top of those papers and then off to use them. I used one of my roller stamps from Glitz. It's the little triangle one. And I took my pale tomato ink from Pure Arts and I just kind of distress the background because the background, I don't have a lot of pattern papers left to use as background, so I am using just a plain cardstock in pink, and I'm trying to use the stuff that, comes in the kit, whether it's pattern papers or cardstock first, trying to kill the kit as much as I can, and then if I find that I don't have what I need, then I'll go into my stash. And partially that is, like I purchase the kits every month and I want to make sure that I use them to its full potential. But also, I do have a ton of people that send me messages asking me, what's the best kit for me to get, and what do you like about the kits and what don't you like, and what do you suggest? For me, and again, everybody's different, right? But for me, the Scraptastic kits have been the kits that have sort of fulfilled my needs more than any other kits. I have tons of pattern papers, but where I like to layer, where some of the other kits were lacking, were in die cuts and stickers so that I can layer. And the Scraptastic kits are just, have full amounts of die cuts, and we'll have die cuts packages that have 50 per package, and you'll get like 3 or 4, so you get tons and tons. And I mounted the photo on a nice bright pink cardstock. Then I used that colorful dot paper, and I had showed the branding strip at the beginning so you could see who made it. And now I'm into my scraps. There's that diagonal paper. I use some black and white paper, and it looks like it has kind of motif on it, different motif. I think this is my last scrap of that Amy Tangerine with the flowers, and most of them black and white and gray, and then you have a pop of color here and there. Love that paper. And now that I'm going to add one more sheet of paper, but at this point I think I'm done. So I start working with the embellishments and seeing where my clusters are going to be. And when I put those embellishments on top of my stack, I have no idea where I'm going to go with the page. I have no idea in mind. Most of the time I don't even have a photo yet. I just, pick some pattern papers and go, okay, with this I'd like, in this case, pink, black, and gray. And I start adding embellishments in those colors. Then I go into my stuff, my pictures, and find pictures that go with that. I knew I wanted to use those alphas that came in the kit, those gray alphas, because I barely use them. And so if I brought in some of the grays, and then I could use this. So in that Amy Tangerine pattern paper with the flowers, there's gray in the background, and that other pattern paper has black and white. So that's sort of in the same family, it's an earthy color. So I was fine with that. And then I brought some of the die cuts that have gray in the lines. So that's what I'm going to do. And now I'm outlining all the pattern papers just to kind of bring them together. And then I'm going to put that vellum transparency just so that it peeks out just on the sides. there's that polka dot paper. I guess when I'm going to put it together, I'm just going to change the way I have them together. When I first start, I kind of have them loosely, and then once I start putting the pattern paper, gluing them together, I try to make it a little tighter, so my cluster's a little tighter. It's still quite loose, like it still takes quite a bit of my whole background, but a little tighter than when I first start. Now I'm going to ink all the edges using my distressed ink, my black soot from Ranger. Now I'm going to start putting everything together. So I just thought I'd try to sneak this little voiceover before I go off to work. It's 4:15 in the afternoon, and I have to start getting ready in about 25 minutes. So I thought just enough time to, get a voiceover done, and I can render it tonight, like finish the processing so it's ready for, I uploaded one this morning, so it'll be on the 14th. But I like to be a little bit ahead. And I have 2 more night shifts. I have tonight, the 12th and the 13th, and then I have a couple days off. I do have quite a bit of overtime this month, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with the every second day. And that's why I made it so it was every second day instead of every day for the next little bit, is because of all that overtime that I'm going to be doing in May. And I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done at home. So again, I'm just trying to get everything a little tighter than it was at the beginning. Then I'm going to take that transparency and I cut it in half. I'm going to put one side to the left and the right. And again, at first I'm going to make it so it sticks out quite a bit. And then I don't like that. I'm going to pull it in and so that it just barely sticks out. And I like that better. It just kind of has that hint of the transparency there in the background, and in person you can really see it. Now once I have my cluster done, I like to glue it down to my background, and then I start working on my layers. I like to have the main part of my layout down, and then when I fuss with my embellishment clusters, I don't have to rearrange it 50 times. As soon as I feel somewhat good, then I'm ready to start gluing right away. I don't think I did that this time. Naughty me. Because I'm going to be frustrated with myself here in a few minutes because I have everything, up and ready to go, and then I have to pull everything off and glue everything down. So at this point, I love coloring the wood veneers. What I do is I put a little bit of this to that dot adhesive on my on my Stampin' block. And then I glue down the butterflies so they don't fly around. And then I take my Hero Arts white ink and I color them in. Once they're colored in, I either take more Hero Arts dauber, or I take my Copic marker, or I take some paint. In this occasion, I took my Hero Arts Pale Tomato ink because that's what I used on the background. And I had an extra butterfly done from a past layout. So I just moved it onto this layout. So that's why I only have to color 2 of them. And this time around, I am not going to use my glossy accent to add an extra layer to the butterflies. I'm just going to leave them in the texture they're in now. Now I use my Rolly stamp again. I did again in the pale tomato and in the white, and just kind of added texture to the top right of the layout because I know I want to do a cluster in that area, and I just want to bring some continuity to that side of the layout. Now I'm using my heat gun, just kind of quickly drawing it up. Still fussing with those transparencies. And there was a die cut that they cut out for you, and I think it's from the Silhouette, and it just said photobomb. And I know usually photobomb is someone that kind of is random in your photo, but to me this was totally a photobomb. They're all making faces and they're sitting on this statue in front of Movie Land. It's a wax museum in Niagara Falls, and it's where there's they have wax people of, or wax figurines or wax people. And it's all stars and characters and stuff. And so I just put amazing stars because we had a blast, and it kind of has a little twist at the end. And if you ever go there, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but where, you think it's just la da 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 da, and then at the end you get a and so we enjoyed the whole thing, but the end kind of really did it for us because it was so unexpected and it was so fun, and it just made us laugh, and we just thought it was amazing. And they had fun posing with all the, different characters from the movies, and I must have taken 150 photos in that museum. And so this is in my album, this is sort of going to be the beginning of sort of the cover sheet, I guess, or the cover layout. And then in behind that, I'm going to have more of the layouts of inside the museum, because this was just outside the museum. Because I was having so much fun, decorating and stuff, and adding paper die cuts and bling and wood veneers. I don't have room on the layout to journal, but again, I'm just going to add some kind of pocket in behind. I think my layout's pretty glued down, so I don't think I can put it in behind the layers of pattern paper, but I'll just put it in behind the whole layout and have it kind of sticking out at the top, maybe where the butterfly is, so it looks like it's part of that cluster. And then I'll put sort of the details of this museum, the facts of this museum, like when it was built and what it's about and all this stuff. And then the other layouts will be more about each of the different characters or movie stars. Now, you know how I like to add this to that dot adhesive to my twine. I thought of that new thing that I got, and it's the sticky dots from ThermoWeb. And I thought, I wonder if this will work. So, because all you do is you just kind of peel it off, put your die cut on. There's a sheet that you put over top, rub it, and then peel it off. And it worked. It worked pretty good. When I looked at the sticky dots, you could tell where it took the stickiness away. So it might be something that I'm going to keep doing, or I'm so used to pulling out my this to that dot adhesive that I might keep pulling that out. But that's just another option that you can use is your sticky dots. Put your twine and just add it to the layout. Now I took my calico white and I'm going to add some sprinkles and also my pink from Mr. Huey, and I'm going to add it to all the different little clusters. And now I'm ready to show you some close-ups of the whole layout and then of each embellishment cluster. And you can kind of see how I layer everything. On the top right, I added some extra pattern paper that was in the layout. I just kind of brought it over to the right side to kind of tie it in. I added a flag, and it says this, and then I put a little camera that came in a kit, and it's kind of a photo, so this photo. And that's it. The page is done. Thanks for watching.